Hi guys, welcome to episode 5 of Cooking with Nat. Today we're gonna make a one-pot, hot pot style Asian soup with red Thai curry paste, coconut, and a bunch of goodness. So traditionally you can have fondue where you have slices of meat and vegetables that you would dip into a broth and then remove individually and then dip with dipping sauces. That is one way of having fondue. Also there is traditional Asian hot pot where it's probably a yin and a yang style bowl or pot, and it has different broths. You throw in everything, all your veggies, all your seafood, all your meat, you take it all out, you plate it out, and then people would be serving themselves in individual bowls with noodles, and then they pour the broth on top. So that's kind of what I'm doing today, but in a one pot format. Super simple, super easy, and oh so flavorful. So what I'm going to use today is I have these beautiful beef slices from Lufa farms that are for fondue. You can see that meat like this is often used in Vietnamese soups and things like that as well. I'm going to talk about seafood. I'm going to use these beautiful shrimp that are from Ecuador, and I get my seafood and fish from Ferro.Fish. So they were a major distributor for a lot of high-end restaurants in Montreal that had to kind of pivot their business model because of the pandemic, and now they're selling to consumers. And they also do home delivery, which is how I discovered them, because I was looking for a seafood place that would deliver to my home for my Christmas Eve meal. They are amazing. They have tons of fresh fish. They can cut it how you want. You can put specifications into your email, into your purchase. What I did is I asked to remove the skin off my salmon because it's something I don't really like to do. The seafood though, the shellfish, I love all things shellfish. If it comes in a shell, I eat it. Lobster, clams, you name it, I love it. So you can get their shrimp. Their shrimps are either from Canada, South America. Lobster season's coming up. I highly recommend it. I'm going to link them at the bottom. And if you use the code Seafoodwithnat, you're going to get $5 off your order. So that's definitely helping. You can add any types of veggies that you would like. So I'm having some corn, some purple onions, some carrots, garlic. I also have a little bit of frozen ginger and some frozen cilantro. I have fresh cilantro as well, lime juice, and I'm going to be using these beautiful mini king oyster mushrooms also from Lufa Farms. For the greens, you can use anything that you love. I'm using watercress today because that's what they had at Lufa. You could use bok choy, anything. I'm going to have some beef stock, but I might add a little bit more water just to create a bit more broth. And I'm going to be using these delicious udon noodles from Omeri that I also got from Lufa, so I'll link at the bottom as well. Coconut milk, organic coconut milk. And here are what my seasonings are going to be. We have soy, tamari, whatever you feel. A little fish sauce, red Thai curry paste. I'm going to top my soup with this delicious Okazu chili miso oil, and I'm gonna use I talk about this a lot on my Instagram, Kanel spices, another amazing company that I love from Montreal. They have this porcini umami rub that literally I put on everything daily, eggs, anything. It really is like ground up porcini mushrooms that give this delicious umami flavor to anything. So good, I highly recommend it. I will put the link to their website as well in my site. And I have put this delicious chili lime flavor on top of my shrimps already from a Spice Affair. And I'm going to use the Asian fusion again. So Spice Affair, another local company that I love. They have tons of spices, a lot of international flavors. If you really want to kind of kick up your cooking game and kind of travel the world through your cooking, I recommend a Spice Affair. If you use Cooking with Nat, you're going to get 15% off of your order as well. I'll link them up. So essentially, here we go. This is what I'm going to be using today. But you could definitely turn this meal into a vegan meal. You can use vegetable stock instead of beef stock. Instead of meat, you can marinate slices of tofu and even fry them up or bake them. You can marinate them chili, lime, oil, sesame oil. You can even add a little bit of teriyaki sauce, then put those into your soup as well. So good. So it's very versatile. If you don't like seafood, you can omit the shrimps. If you love seafood, you can even add scallops or you name it. You can add it. It will be delicious. The coconut, the broth, the umami, it's going to be Flavor City with the green onions, lime juice. Oh, I can't wait. Let's get to the stove now and start cooking up this delicious meal. All right, so now we're at the stove ready to cook up this delicious soup. I've already started to saute both garlic and onions, and I let them sweat out in some coconut oil. And then after that, I've already added some ginger, garlic, and the frozen cilantro as well. And I'm telling you, we haven't even added the spices yet, and it smells phenomenal. Definitely one of the benefits of cooking with coconut oil, right? So this is now cooked down just enough in time for me to add my mushrooms, my frozen corn, right here. Let that cook up. Get all those flavors cooking together. And then I'm gonna start adding my spices, my broth, and my meat and shrimp. So now we're going to add about a tablespoon and a half, or a bit more than that, I'm gonna use this. About a tablespoon or a little bit more, a good heaping tablespoon of this delicious red Thai curry paste. It's gonna give it a bit of a kick, a beautiful red color, and it's gonna go so well with the coconut milk. Add a little bit of that. I'm going to be adding about a tablespoon and a half of fish sauce. If you don't like fish sauce, you really don't need to use it, but I really think that it really brings out some great flavors in Asian cooking. My favorite tamari sauce. I love soy sauce. I love tamari sauce. It's really not that great, but I love it so much. I could almost drink it out of the bottle. I might have done that before, not now. So, okay, we're gonna add our tamari sauce. About 2 tablespoons, maybe a couple extra splashes. But if you wanna add more once you're done cooking, if you need a little bit more flavor, I highly recommend doing so. And we are going to add our lime juice. Time to add the Asian fusion spices from a Spice Affair. About a tablespoon, or a little bit less than a tablespoon. Okay. Porcini umami, another tablespoon. We're gonna give that a nice stir, blend the flavors together. Once again, I wish we had smell-o-vision because this is smelling so good. Again. Okay. Now that we have all the flavors blended together, I'm going to scoop my coconut milk. I try to use a full-fat organic coconut milk with all the juice, the liquid, the chunky parts. You want it all. The flavors are going to be so good. Like I said, this is kind of like an everything but the kitchen sink type of meal. You can add any type of vegetable that you want. So now we're going to add in our, push this over, keep this out just in case. We're gonna add our broth, our beef stock, right here. And we're gonna add the water that I mentioned before because I want it a little bit more liquidy. And don't worry, it won't be diluted because the meat is gonna cook inside the broth. So therefore, you're still gonna have a lot of really good flavor going on. So I'm gonna just bring up the heat a little bit. Bring it to a bit of a simmer. Maybe a little bit more water. And these are gonna simmer up. We're gonna add in our meat. They cook very quickly, so we don't need to cook those very long. Meat slices. our shrimp with the chili lime blend. It really is a hot pot meal. So now we're going to basically let that simmer up a little bit, and then we're going to be adding our watercress and then our udon noodles and let them cook for a couple more minutes. Top it with cilantro, the delicious miso sauce, and some green onions as well, and then we're going to plate it up. We'll be right back. So now we're at the final step of the Stovetop Hot Pot. So everything's been simmering for about 10 minutes. My shrimp are nice and pink. The meat is cooked. Even if you wanted your meat a little bit more rare, you could even put it later on. You could technically even add the meat at the same time as the noodles, so then it will cook a little bit less long, but it's all your preference. So now we're gonna have the final step. We're gonna add in our udon noodles. Frozen udon noodles. Okay. We're gonna add our watercress. Gotta get those greens. And we're going to add in a bunch of green onions that I've chopped up earlier today. And some cilantro. We're gonna add some more after. Give it a final stir. Right, this. We're just gonna cover it up. Bring it to a bit of a simmer. Let the noodles cook, and then we'll be ready to serve. I'm gonna serve it in a big bowl with a little bit more maybe soy sauce, or definitely some of this chili miso paste that has some sesame oil in it already. I'm gonna probably top it with some more green onions. I'm gonna top it with some more cilantro and definitely some limes. So that's it. Well, thanks for joining me on another episode of Cooking with Nat. We'll see you again next time. Bon appétit. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can get updated on the latest Cooking with Nat videos.